Good morning. Happy Monday. I don't know how to get the mouse back on the screen.
It's on the screen.
Oh, okay.
It's just really dark.
So, what's everybody up to this Monday? We have a really fun, busy week this week.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kind of busy, though, that makes you, like, where do you start, you know?
What?
That's the feeling I get. Like
I don't have that.
When I'm, like, really,
I'm
well,
very
we're different
organized.
personalities. That's the
Very
beauty of
organized
people.
about it. I feel good.
Well, I know someone listening to me feels the way I do. It's a sense of, like, one bite at a time. That's why I do really well with list. I like to cross things off. It makes me feel good. It satisfies a deep pleasure of.
I love a good crossing off. But you're gonna not be able to slurp that anymore.
I don't think you could hear it on the. I don't think you could hear it on the thing.
I can hear it though, and it's assaulting my ears. I love a good list. It's just I feel like if you're already to a point, a list isn't going to help you. You just have to start taking action. So,
yep,
you just got to get to it. So we have our first back in person workshop. So I'm so excited. I'm just so excited about it.
Yes.
Where's my switch go? I don't know if I got the camera.
Right here.
The last time we had something in person was, now get this, hang on one sec. Sorry, friends. Okay. Was January 2020 in person. Okay. And we had dates and other things in person planned out that all got canceled.
Yeah,
and then things got put online, and then we started focusing on other things. So now it's gonna be back in person. It's gonna be great.
It was a feeling of, I wouldn't say it probably like we were no longer focusing on it, but I think it was almost like it was like, what do you call it? When you go to bed for the winter, it was like in hibernation.
Oh, I don't even think it was that. We were working on stuff all the time. It was just that we did not want to do an online format because, one, it's about relationship, and two, everyone was online and Zooming for work or whatever. Some people still are so much. It was like, no, we're not doing that.
Well,
so
that, and also we were living on our. I mean, everything was shut down, or you couldn't go anywhere. So it's like, if you did, everything was electronic. So it was. I mean, it was probably possible, but we also have two young. How cool? I mean, what?
We just didn't want to.
Chamberlain was 4 years old.
People were gonna pay us, and I was still like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
4 years old.
Because you have to. You have to there had to be something. It was antithetical to what we wanted to actually have happen.
But
so I'm excited that it's in person.
I'm also optimistic because I had an opportunity to chat with several young ladies that are probably in their mid-20s. And I asked them, like, what, would you guys prefer, like, an app or doing something online when you think about, like, spicing up your relationship and your dating life? And all of them said, oh, in person. And it's actually funny, not because of the connected piece was nice, of course. And these are the women, so I wasn't hearing from the guy's point of view. But they all said, actually, because of efficiency, which is surprising.
Right, to get it over with, kind of.
Which
is funny. Is funny to me.
Yeah, because I think, one, it was she had a really interesting insight, and I was like, oh, I've never really thought about it that way. It's like going to counseling for like the next 3 months can sound kind of overwhelming. Because it's like, it sounds like you have problems
you'll spend
for
more
3 months, and you'll probably spend more money, which is kind of So I was really pleased to hear that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're geared at, and that's like going to be. I think it's kind of. I think that's where a lot of the focus will flow.
Yeah, so that's the big focus this week, and just getting excited about it. To just be with people in person and not. I mean, we love the one-on-one conversations or like conversations with couples, just like this, but there's something about a room filled with people who are there to grow at some capacity that is just
Feels good.
It's just different.
Feels good to see.
It just hits different. And yeah, we've got a few reviewing and we have some doing it for the first time, which will be fun because your relationship hopefully is evergreen, right? So it's something that you can do again and then still see another view.
Let me ask you the question that they asked me. What would you? Sorry, I was going back to like the table of ladies that invited me to sit with them.
Yes.
What would you say? Like if you had someone that was like 24,
okay,
you know, they're pretty young,
okay,
hitting the workforce, and they say, "Hey, what, Sierra? Like you're a little older than me. You've been ravished by time." By the way, I am starting to feel a lot older when I hang around younger people now. And I'm like using references, and it's like really embarrassing when they have no idea.
He had to explain to the
so
middle schoolers yesterday at church what rubber cement was. So he's feeling a little.
Yeah, but it's happening on like multiple occasions.
He's feeling a little old today because they didn't know what rubber cement was.
Yeah, but I'm like now I'm officially like that. Like I'm like that older dad. It sucks. Anyhow, I'm having a little bit of a midlife crisis. Anyhow, she looked at me and said, "What is like a piece of advice you would give?" So I wanted to
advice
or like life advice, like, you know, what would you say? Life advice, like, you know, just like what would you say? Like, what would you tell me that's something that's really important for you? No, it was it wasn't like as sharp and specific as that. It's like, what would you tell me? Like, you know, you're a little bit older. Like, what is one thing you think I should know? That's like really important.
There are certain things that are going to come up in your life that are going to feel so wrong to you, or like so like they're just going to like shake you. Be like, but that's not what I knew, but that's not how I've grown up, or but that's not what I learned about X, Y, and Z. And it's like the very thing you actually need to take a peek at. So to like always be curious.
It's funny you say that because I acknowledge them for that. It's like functioning in a place of possibility.
Yeah, because you think about, just take our relationship, and I don't know, doing something that was not counseling, or that was not therapy, or that was not another book or something, or not another Bible study or something, that was weird. I was like, what are these groups we're getting involved with? This seems weird. I don't know why. This. I don't know how we got. And then how did we get here in Cabo with like 20 couples or whatever? Like, how did we get here? Same thing with health. I mean, we coach people in a health journey, and I know for me when I started, I was like, wait, you mean I'm gonna stop moving my body for a minute so I can focus on my stress levels and my other habits like sleep and stuff before I even go back to the gym? What are you talking about? Like, it was so backwards to me to do that, or not be like meal prepping 6 fresh meals a day to like really peel back. And it went up against like everything that I thought I knew, but it was also exactly what I needed to rebuild. And so I think that certain times things are going to be like, no. Like, if you ever find yourself saying something like
cognitive dissonance.
Really. Yeah, like if you ever find yourself saying like, well, I think that I want to get those results, but that I should be doing it like this. It's like, yeah, but if you ever feel like you're saying I should be doing it like this, or I believe that, blah, 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 and then this could happen, it's like, well, that's actually probably the exact thing that's like holding you back. So yeah, if you're ever feeling like, I don't know, it's like, oh, you should probably lean into that then, because that is an area where you feel like you know it all.
So like kind of, yeah.
And I'm not saying going against like your...
So try to be aware.
But I'm not saying going against your belief systems, but like, let's get real.
Well, there's belief systems. No, you can go against belief systems. There's values as different than belief systems.
No, I'm saying belief systems or values.
Oh.
Like,
you put them, you collapse them together.
Yeah, like you can't have a belief system about exercise. You can't have a belief system about, or a belief system about food. You can't have a belief system about how relationships should be. Like, it's just a bunch of shoulds. Like, those aren't beliefs. Like, a belief is in something you can't actually do or see, but you believe to be able to happen, but you can't actually like touch it. So I'm always, when people are like, oh, I just don't believe in I don't know, packaged foods. Or I don't believe in, I don't know.
So they're saying is like
I don't believe in anything but listening to my doctor, or I don't believe in anything unless my therapist says it, or whatever it is. It's like, so you're putting them on a pedestal higher than the value of your life. So yeah. So that's like, anytime you like want to put a belief in something that's not in like to God or something, I'm like, well, hang on. Like, I don't know. I think that's like a little like nefarious.
Well, I think it's like the temptation to have some sort of authority, like an override. Like people will like, even though they like to dance around the fact that they have complete control over what they're overriding in their life, but it's easier to say it's not them, it's the experts or someone else. I think.
Yeah,
I think if they're honest with themselves, and I think if we're honest with ourselves, every time you eject, it's usually something because you say so.
Yeah, and it's not ever like a belief or like a value you have. It's normally something that is just going up against what you know up until that point.
That's good.
Yeah, it's like only going up against what you know until that point. You might call it like, ooh, that like goes against my core. I'm like, yeah, I get that, because like your core is what you know. It's your memory, it's your experience, it's your past, and like it may go up against that. But that is not going up against a belief in something.
Has that come up at all in your the big activity you're doing Everesting, when you're climbing the mountain over and over and over again at the height of Everest? I know you haven't really officially began like hardcore, but have you seen anything that challenged that point?
I've seen other participants challenge coaches. I have not. Everything for me, but has been very
do you think you'll
edifying of the things that I've already been doing. However, I've been working on that piece for 2 years. So had I had signing up for 29 be my first like
big event,
big event without having done all the work I've done the last 2 years, yes, it would be going against what I want or what I think should be. So like, these guys are telling me to like run slower and like move slower. Hey, don't do as much. I'm like, what?
Remind me again. Let's go back. What inspired? What was that like decision when you're like, oh, this 29029 thing? Well, where did you first hear it? And then like, what was that decision point? Like, walk us through like the progression of awareness to, I guess, signing up.
Well, the first time I heard about it was on a podcast with the late great Dave Wallace, and he mentioned it on a podcast that he did with his ex-wife, and
that's the first time you ever heard it?
I remember it so well. I was working in my shop. I was like folding clothes and taking pictures, and they were talking about this event that they did. And I knew in my core, because it had been almost exactly 10 years, I think, or no, at that point it had been maybe like 8 or 9 years, and we were kind of like itching to do some other event or something. And I heard them talking about it, and I instantly was like, I gotta do this. This sounds right up my alley. It is not another marathon. It is not another triathlon. And I think I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been really intrigued with Mount Everest, but have no desire to actually be in those unpredictable elements. So I'm like, okay, well, this sounds really cool, and I really think I could do it. I'm going to look into this. So I look into it. It was sold out. Next year, sold out. I mean, it sells out in seconds. Like, there's not very many spots. And then it kind of had to do a little, when everything shut down, they had to do a virtual event that was basically from the year before that got canceled. So again, no spots. And then I started on my own health journey, and I actually was like, let's get healthy first and start from a place of health as opposed to a place of vanity or a place of like getting an accolade or something.
Okay.
So I did that. So then when I signed up for all of like their email list and everything, I was like, no, I'm doing this. Like, I know that this is my time. I'm doing this. I had the date on the calendar and every alarm set. I got on every single information call or whatever. I mean, I was doing it. And then they announced that they were going to be doing Whistler, which we're really close to Seattle. So Whistler is in Canada. It's very close to us. And I was like, that's it. That's my mountain. I got to do it. Whistler's my mountain. Like, I can train in the Pacific Northwest. I can train in these elements. This will be great. Like, that's my mountain. Mm-hmm. So I had the date on the calendar and I got a spot.
That's cool.
I knew I had to do it. The first time I had no doubt in my mind that when I heard about it from the very first time, when they were talking about it on a podcast, I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to do that.
What are you hoping to discover?
Right now it's a lot of learning, and I'm doing this for myself. I'm not doing it with anyone else. And it's not a race. And so I'm excited to learn something new about myself. It's going to take a new level of discipline in terms of my scheduling abilities and time. So I'm excited to discover a new capacity there. And yeah, just doing it for something for myself. Like, I think it's going to be really, really challenging. It already is really challenging. It's going against, right? Like, that whole thing is it's going against some things in my mind right now. Like, yeah, it's going against, like, already I'm like, oh, like, my body is changing and is different than it was 6 months ago.
I find this event,
and that's weird for me because I was at my, like, your smallest isn't necessarily your strongest, and your strongest isn't your smallest. Your thinnest may not be your healthiest, right? So I was starting from a very healthy place, which was not my smallest, which was also not my strongest. So I was just kind of starting in this place of health. So numbers are changing, clothes are feeling different. Like, it's very different.
Interesting.
So that's already like, oh, it's like messing with my mind, right? It's like messing with my, but that's good. I think that it's good to be challenged that way. And, and you know what? I'm confident that it's not a race, so I can't be last like I was in the last endurance event we did. Which I was actually last, you guys. Last.
I wonder if there's a way, like, I'm trying to, like, what's happening on this side is we've had a few conversations about this. It hasn't gone away per se, but, like, you brought up a good point of, like, it's important, not all the time, but it's important to at least, like, do something that you've never done before that forces you, that's, like, maybe even extreme, right? Like, Ironmans are like that too. I mean, half Ironman was like that.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem like that anymore.
It does, really? I think it does. Yeah, for me, I think an Ironman will be exponentially harder.
No, a half doesn't seem that way.
Oh, no. I get a little nervous just from, like, a dietary standpoint, because I think it takes a lot more discipline for me, less for you, on consumption. Because all the things that you need for fueling are, like, things I can't have.
Right, but
so
but they're out there.
No, they're out there, but they're usually,
you just aren't you don't need to be using them unless you're training for an event like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But, like, that is an extra layer of complexity. Like, it's not like, oh, just you need all these things. Like, there's an extra layer of discipline and regimented dietary science that you would need to avoid things with, like, whey and eggs and soy and things like that. It's just a lot hard. It's more work. It's more work. So I think there's fear in that for me of, like, am I ready to? It's one thing to do it physically, but then to, like, almost like
it's out there, like, though. I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is it's out there and it's actually quite easy to find. You just aren't in that world because that's not your world right now. But they're out there. There's plenty.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And I think about that sometimes. Like, I think that 29, like, that sounds like. It sounds like, because I think you have to believe you can do it too. Like, you believe you can summit, you can do it. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why I think about, like, that's why, like, when you talk about the whole, like, bodybuilding thing, I don't have any belief.
It's not, okay, wait, it's not that you don't have the belief that you could do the training up to that point. I actually have more confidence that I can summit the mountain than I have confidence that I can actually do the training as I want to do it and as well as I want to do it. The training in the next 20 weeks is way more scary than the actual event itself.
Is that because of the time commitment or the stress on the body?
Both. And I want to do everything in my power that I have control over to make sure that I can really say that I did. No, because I have to go. Oh. That we can really say, or that I can really say that I did everything that I could to have a good event. Because there are so many uncontrollable things at the event, or even during training, be it like injuries or someone gets sick or I get sick or whatever.
That's good.
I mean,
I like that.
Last August, like, was it August? Yeah, it was like last August. Like, we got COVID, and it would have been, had I been signed up for that Whistler event, that would have been the week before the event. So it's like there's so many things on the table that you cannot control, that I want to be able to do the things that I can control as good as I can do them. And I think when you look at it that way, it's like, yeah, but you just have to start, and then yeah. Like, there's certain things, like, I couldn't see myself doing, like, I could see myself doing like a Everest, like base camp 1 or base camp 2, but I couldn't see myself summiting Everest.
Oh, in real life? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it starts with that. Seeing is believing. Like, you have to almost be able to imagine it. Like, I can imagine myself crossing. No,
it's not even so much imagining. It's more like I don't want to die.
Oh, that doesn't cross my mind. See, like death. I never feared death in that way. I was
like, even Carnegie was like, "You want to go paragliding?" And I was like, "No."
But I think that assessment is a very unique individual experience. That justification is unique, and it's interesting. I'm just getting curious about that, because I'm like thinking, obviously, when you do something like that, the desired effect is twofold, right? You level up yourself, but it's also causes a ripple effect because you inspire other people.
Yeah, but that's your tendency, your little Enneagram 7. Like, you're typically, he's a good man. You're typically afraid of committing to anything. Like, even if it's like, do you want to go hiking or to the dog park on Saturday real quick? You can't even, and you run around the house. I mean, you're so, like, the second you make a decision, you know that, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose everything else. And you like worry. It's that whole joy of missing out versus fear of missing out. You like constantly have that fear of missing out.
And a belief system of like, do I see myself there? And I think that's also what's in the background on a big.
But that'll keep you from doing anything in your life.
Well, that would keep you from parasailing.
What? No, I just don't want to die. Like, if you were to do,
you're not gonna die.
If you were doing an event or something,
like that's like.
No, I never said I wouldn't. I never said I wouldn't go paragliding. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't want to do that. Could I do that? Yes. But like,
but that same logic is what I apply to.
Yeah, but I still could do it. I mean, I don't want to have a day where I'm going to have to go run 13 miles and then later that day go run another 5. Like, I don't want to do that. But I can, and I'm going to, because I know the bigger purpose.
Yeah, and I feel that same way. I'm trying to find that thing that I think you have to.
Just being wiggly.
You have to spark. Because you wanted to climb the mountain. I think what I'm trying to express is I think there is a desire for me. I'm open. I'm trying to find that thing that has.
I don't know if you're that open though.
I think I am. I think I absolutely
am.
But
you can be open, but you don't take action to find anything. You just kind of get wiggly.
Well, we have a lot of. I mean, I'm letting you have this thing happening called Everesting, so I don't need to double.
Another thing, just another excuse. Push a decision making away.
What do you guys think? I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree.
No, but I'm just saying, like, okay, so we've gone to like 4 events or something, and each personal growth event, they're like, just decide on something that's really going to push you.
Yeah.
This is what's been 2 years. I'm like, well, what's the thing then?
Well, 2 years? What do you mean?
It's been 2 years since you've heard of that. Like, it's not uncommon. Like, if you really want to go next level on something, you have to actually choose something that's like next level for you.
Oh, okay.
And so.
Okay, maybe we should create a deadline for it.
No, because I feel like you're going to choose something easy, like a half Ironman, and I'll be like,
oh, so you're the assessor of what is easy.
No, it's just I know the easy things that you will try to convince me are hard. And I'm like, no, I know what you could do. You've ridden your bike across like a whole entire state before.
Yeah.
So it's got to be bigger than that.
The country.
No, they're doing that right now. Which, if you're not following Jesse
Wait, what do
Itzler
you mean?
right
Oh,
now,
I can't
it's so
I can't do it
funny.
because Jesse Eisler is doing it.
No, I don't actually think there's an event like that you could like.
No,
go
you just do it by yourself, and you fundraise for it.
Go for it.
That'd be
Go for it.
All
for it if you want to do that.
You know, that's next level. Yeah, it has been done. It'd take a while, but that's extreme. Yeah, see, that would take a lot of playing. So I'd be gone. I'd be gone for like 3 months. How long
Why would it
to
take 3 months?
ride by yourself to ride across the whole country? Through
Sacagawea got across the whole country. I think it was like,
I don't know.
wasn't it something crazy? Like, it was like very fast, and they were on foot, and she had a baby.
I need to think about. Maybe I'll plan a bike ride out. Yeah, maybe. All right. What do you guys think?
Yeah, what's something Zach can do that maybe is not? Or do you feel like you could do an Ironman right now?
Right now?
No, not right now. But I mean, like, do
I believe
think
I can?
you
Yeah.
would want to sign up for that right now? Or no, you don't want to do.
No, I could. I could. I think what happens for me, and this is.
You have to hurry up. I have 30 seconds.
It's valid. Is I think about I would need to have confidence that there's support and enrollment around that because I was sharing with my mom and sister. I don't know. It's something I need to work on. I broke into this way, but I like overly worry about not disrupting everybody else. So I think I have like a little bit of a
that's over there.
So I wouldn't want to like leave you guys.
That's a pusher. That's another excuse added on the pile of why you don't do it.
Yeah, it comes out as an excuse, but it's a very real feeling.
Yeah,
being considerate of.
But again, it's like
because it's like it's a sacrifice.
It's like what I was telling you on yesterday.
Not everyone wants to.
I'm saying go do it. It's fine. I've done stuff like that. I know what it takes. So go do it. So here you are again saying I want ice cream while you're looking at the ice cream cone.
Yeah.
So. That sounds like something you gotta look at, Mr. Batson.
Be harsh on me if you think I'm out of line, or if I want to know a Team Sierra or Team not like it's versus, but like maybe there's something I'm missing. Because like
start an argument for us, would you?
I hear what you're saying. And
he's refusing it because it's pushing him, so he's refusing it. He's like pushing it away.
There's a fear that I need to acknowledge.
There is a fear. It's called the fear of being trapped because that is always the fear that you grab onto. Is I won't have freedom and I will be trapped.
I don't know, trapped. I think it's something else.
You can call it whatever the heck you want. You know it's the same darn thing. And while you try to decide and identify what it is, even though you know what it is, you could be actually doing something.
When I finish,
because action is going to diffuse it every time, regardless of how you identify
it. When I cross the line at the Ironman or Kauai or whatever it is, or I cross the line, or I get to the coast of like Eastern Washington on my bike by myself, I'm gonna play this clip right before and make a whole montage video, and it'll be like, look at the progression, look how far Zach's come. So I can see that part at least.
So he's just creating content. To delay. Okay, I really have to go though. I have a phone call. We will see you guys. I don't know how to do this. There we go.
Awkwardly stare at the camera.
Nope, we'll